the Tanit Velio that says that there are two things that precede the world. There's Torah and there's Yidden. These are the two things that precede the world. We have this in the Bereshis, B'shvil Beis Reishis. The world was created, Bereshis bara Elokim. That why did Hashem create the world? Because of Beis Reishis, because of the two things that preceded the world. And what is that? That is Torah and that is Klal Yisrael. What does it mean that Torah and Klal Yisrael preceded the world? That means, if you remember, before the world existed, there wasn't time. Time itself is a mechudesh. Time itself was created by Hashem. But that means that conceptually they preceded the world. Why did Hashem create the world? It's not that one day Hashem said, you know what, I want to create a world. And then he was like, what do I do? What am I going to do in this world? He's like, oh, I have an idea. I'll create Yidden. And then I'll give him a Torah. No, it's the other way around. Hashem had a desire to have Yidden who are learning Torah and doing mitzvahs. And in order for that to happen, he created a world. So the Yidden and the mitzvahs and Torah come before the world. In other words, they're the reason for the world. But of the two, between the Yidden and the Torah, which one of them came first? And this is a Shiur which actually was posed to Eliyahu Navi in Tanit Velio. The Shiur was asked him and says, which one? We know that there are two things that come to before that precede the world. Yidden and Torah. Of those two, which one comes first? Eliyahu Navi answers and says, his words are, I don't know which one of them comes first. In other words, like, I don't have a Messiah on this. But Vani Omer, but you want to know what my opinion is? Ani Omer, that Yisrael come. Yidden come first. And what's his raya? His raya is, because look in the Torah, open up the Torah, what is saying in the Torah? Babel b'nei Yisrael, Savas b'nei Yisrael. The Torah is addressed to Yidden. What does that tell you? The Torah is addressed to Yidden. That means by necessity the Yidden were there beforehand. Like I'm saying beforehand, I mean like upon him in Machshavte, Yisbarach, in the Eibishter's mind. He thought of Yidden, and then he created a Torah addressed to the Yidden. You can't address something to a non-existent entity. And therefore we say, Machshavtan shal Yisrael kadma l'chol davar. The first thing that Hashem, the very first purpose of all of creation is Yisrael, was Klal Yisrael. And Torah was created for us, for Klal Yisrael. So the Eibishter creates us, and we are 613 components. Our guf is 613 components. Our neshama is correspondingly also 613 components. And then he creates the whole world and the Torah like a tailor-made suit. Now sometimes you go to the store, there's a suit there, and you find the one that fits you. And you go to tailor-made. In other words, you come and the guy starts from scratch. The Eibishter started from scratch. He's like, oh, we have Yidden, 613. So now we need one mitzvah, one energy for every single part of their neshama, lahoyer, to illuminate their neshama. So the Eibishter crafted a Torah which is created of 613 mitzvahs. Each mitzvah which elicits one type of hamshacha into this world, and the purpose of it all is what? Is Neshamas Yisrael. It's really a reverse of the way we usually think of things. Understanding ultimately what the kavanah is, the kavanah of everything is Neshamas Yisrael, which is takawai by Matan Torah. If the Yidden aren't mekabel Torah, you'd think Hashem would say, okay, if the Yidden aren't mekabel Torah, why am I going to destroy the world? I have the Torah, which is my main thing. If the Yidden want to do it, don't want the Torah, I'll destroy the Yidden. I'll find some other people to do the Torah. But no, if the Yidden aren't mekabel the Torah, the whole thing is going bust. Why is that? Because again, if it was the Torah that came first, versteht man. But since it was Yidden that came first, therefore, Kanoida that Rebbe ends as is known that the Iker is Klal Yisrael.